Thomas and Vicky, and we are currently traveling through Sweden to find a new home. In the previous episodes, you could see how we moved from Canada to Sweden. We even started looking at the first houses. Good girl. So, welcome to this new video. This will be a Q&A, questions and answers. So the first question that has not been asked yet is, who is my audience? Who is watching these videos? YouTube provides me the answer, and it is people from Sweden. So let's start with question number one. Why Sweden? I wanted to go back to Europe, and preferably in an area where it's colder, because I just function better in the cold. And also I love that type of nature. I like the northern climate. Question number two. Do you have relatives in Sweden? What is the immigration process for you? And did Vicky have to go into quarantine coming to Sweden? So let's start with Vicky. My immigration started with going from Canada back to Germany first. So we entered the European Union in Germany, so I had to follow the German rules. And now Canada is listed as a low-risk country for rabies. So it made the moving with Vicky very easy. So she only needed to have two things. Number one, a rabies certificate. And number two, a microchip. Do I have relatives in Sweden? No, I don't. How does it work with my immigration here? So the truth is, at this point in time, I'm not yet immigrating to Sweden. Yes, I'm looking for houses, but I'm not yet immigrating. I'm here as a tourist. The reason why is, I could have started that process already, but the reason why is I have to go back to Germany in about 2 weeks because it's my dad's birthday. That being said, after that, I want to come and do the formal process of, I don't know if you call it immigrating or if you just call it moving to Sweden for a member of the European Union. Well, the next comment was actually that I should introduce myself a little bit more, so that you know who I am. And you're totally right. That was a very good comment. I am 46 years old. I moved to Canada when I was 33. Went through an immigration process there through a provincial nominee program. I had several jobs in Canada, and each job was kind of built up on the previous job. So my first job was with a motorhome rental company. I was a rental agent there, or customer service representative. I then switched to our local internet and cable TV provider, and also landlines, if that's still a thing today. Then I worked one summer in the Klondike gold fields. I wasn't operating the heavy machines. Instead, the owner and operator of the mine also had a tourism side of the business, and I was the tour guide, one of them. I got a driver's license for a bus, and I was driving people into the mine, explained them everything, and in the end, we went to a camp, went into a creek with a gold pan, and then we were panning for gold, the traditional shake the pan. And after that, I started working for the government of Yukon. That was about 2020. And I worked there until I came to Sweden. So a couple of years, had different roles in the government of Yukon. I obviously love dogs. I play the guitar. I was actually thinking of learning to play ukulele. I hope I pronounced that right. To be able to travel with a tiny guitar, but it turns out that my fingers are a little bit too big. At least I tried it once and it didn't work very well. So yeah, haven't played the guitar in a while though. Anything else? I think that sums it up. So this was me. The next question was what type of house I'm looking for. And I've recording this for the 5th time now because I was always talking for way too long about it. So let's just keep it to the very basics. I don't mind if it's a house or a vacation home. I would like to live permanently in there, and I would try to rebuild it from a vacation home to a house with proper insulation and so on. And it may need more, like it may need water, a bathroom, a sewer. Like I know there's the 3-chamber sewer tanks. There's an issue with houses not having them but needing them, and so on. What really is important to me is the size of the house. I want a smaller house. I'm by myself, with Vicky, of course. Maybe if one day there's a woman swinging by and saying like, "Hey, buddy, I'm moving in with you," I wouldn't say no. But still, it doesn't have to be like, I don't know, 140 square meters or like 2,000 square feet. Something like that. I don't need that. It's just way too much. Let's keep it simple. And that's actually what I want. Let's keep it simple. I want that my house is somewhere, it doesn't have to be remote, but it should be quiet. I'm just sick and tired of noise. I don't like noise, especially if the noise is made by others. So yeah, I don't want to live along a railway. I don't want to live close to a major highway. Things like that. Come on, Sweden is so big. There must be something that is decent, quiet. I want it to be a traditional Swedish house, so ideally red with white trim. If it's yellow, or I've seen blue as well, or green, no problem. It would get a paint job at one point anyway. And then I would start with yellow or blue or green, and later on make it red. Because you can't do all the repairs at once anyway. So yeah, that anyway. Yeah. So the area where I want it to be, okay. So the area is a topic for itself. So let me take this flyer here that I have. So now imagine this was Canada. And if you draw a line here in the middle, blah, 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 then the southern part of Canada, those are the provinces. And the northern half are territories. And that line here in the middle, that is 60 degrees latitude on the map. So I lived in a territory, in the Yukon Territory, so I lived north of 60. And I would like to live south of 60 going forward. Reason why is north of 60 means you have the midnight sun in summer, you have a lot of dark. If you think something's wrong with your volume, well, I think my microphone turned off. Maybe the battery is dead. I guess I was talking too long. But I guess what I'm telling you here right now is that south of 60, the seasons are more equal. You have a longer spring, you have a longer fall, whereas north of 60, spring pretty much doesn't exist. Fall is very short. And I just would like to go back to normal. So the last thing I'm talking about is that in Sweden, the 60 degrees latitude is the line from Torsby to Uppsala, roundabout. So it should be south of that, ideally south of Karlstad, south of Stockholm. The west coast is pretty much not a thing because it's just too expensive. So it would be kind of south of Karlstad, south of Stockholm, in the middle, or on the east side. And the last thing I was telling you was that this video is now coming to an end, and I want to end it on a high note by showing you videos of the things that I've done in the last couple of days. So please enjoy. So, I'm not just at IKEA in Karlstad. I'm also here because there is an amazing trail right next to IKEA. Weather is pretty shitty. It's pretty windy, but well, we gotta do something, right? I gotta entertain my doggy. Vicky, come. Yeehaw!
sauce?